True Sky reading for Scorpio for April. Scorpio, welcome to your reading for April. So I've already shuffled your cards and cleansed the space. I have laid out the initial deck that I'm using today, which is the Alice in Wonderland Tarot. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Hedgehogs. So this month could be a good time for you financially. However, it might be a little bit slow in coming in. So the first card we got is the Ten of Flowers. So the Ten of Flowers is equivalent to the Ten of Wands. So it's a card of, it is a card of being overwhelmed. So you've been going through some hard times and you've been putting a lot of effort into things in your life and you haven't been seeing a lot of rewards, but it's on the way. Those hard times are passing or have passed, so be aware. The next card, this is definitely confirms that for me, is the Six of Flowers, which is equivalent to the Six of Wands. So this is saying it's going to be a success. So what you've been working on is blessed. It's going to be a success. Next card we have is Strength. So this card does reference strength, obviously, but it's also explaining the fact that strength is not just physical strength, it's also mental, and that, you know, kindness is a strength. And there are other things that are strengths that we wouldn't obviously think is a strength. You know, depending on how you're using your energies, sometimes to actually not, you know, get angry or waste your energy on being frustrated and facing your obstacles with that ferocious energy. It's sometimes actually a stronger choice to use persuasion and to lead with kindness. Be brave and level-headed. That's the advice. So the next card we have here is the Temperance. So this is very much about balance and using your energies wisely. So, you know, not exhausting yourself. So making sure that, I mean, here we have the picture of the bottle, which is what she drinks from, and the cookie, which is interesting because obviously the drink makes her too small and then the cookie makes her too big. So it's like, you know, you need to find your happy place, your happy balance of being the exact right size that you need to be in the right moment for the right thing you're doing. The central card for this reading for this month is the Tower. So yeah, so this is interesting how it's got Alice here who had eaten the cookie and she had gotten way too big and she was destroying the rabbit's house that she was trying to help, and how that caused a lot of issues for her down the line. However, I mean, it could be kind of saying, you know, don't get too big for your boots kind of thing. However, the Tower traditionally is the card of potential destructive energies and catalytic energies, so very transformative energies. So, you know, a tree might be catch on fire, or lightning might strike it or something like that, but then you'll see that, you know, down the line that new growth can appear that wasn't there before, and that wouldn't have happened if, you know, that event hadn't happened. So it can create new opportunities and open new pathways as well. So this is the next card is the Two of Hedgehogs, equivalent to the Two of Pentacles. So this is very much about balance, making sure you're giving your energy to the things that matter most in your life this time. Next card we have is the Five of Teacups, equivalent to the Five of Cups. So this card does represent some sorrow and loss. However, its advice is that you need to tap into your intuition and let your mind wander. That these wonderful adventures that your dreams could take you on could actually be manifesting the form or framework of your future. So yeah, don't let the hard times get you down, and try and think of other positive things at this time. So those hard times could be this Tower. So and also with the Strength at the top, it's kind of saying to be strong through this phase. And then this one is the Six of Spears. So this is actually your Six of Swords. So this is definitely saying that you are going to be going into easier times, calmer waters. You're going to be, you know, going away from this conflict, if there's some conflict here. The last one here we have is the King of Spears. So he's a very sharp-minded character. He's a very no-nonsense person, or that could be an element in your life that with this destructive, overwhelmed energy, that you need to just, you know, put that hat on and be no nonsense about it, and just, you know, move on from those destructive energies. Okay, so I'm going to clarify with the Wheel of the Year. First card we got, this is for the Ten of Flowers. So it's the Three of Swords. So this can symbolize heartbreak. However, it does suggest, and it could even be, I'm guessing it could be in a work environment or something that you've been working really hard on. There has been some, you know, mentally trying times and hard times, but that you will overcome it, and that you will heal and move on. The next one we have is the Three of Cups. So this is to clarify the Six of Flowers, which is the Six of Wands. So this is to say that, yeah, this victory that you are going to overcome, these hard times and challenges, it's a good time to celebrate with friends and family. So to, you know, make sure that you are grateful. Make sure you take that time to celebrate with those that you love. Celebrate the good times. Next one we have is the King of Wands. So this is a leader figure too. So typically it's like someone with fire placements, like Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Interesting with the Strength. I mean, Strength is a bit of a Leo card. So it could say that this person is a Leo in your life, or that you have some Leo placings as well, or some fire placings in your chart. And that, yeah, this is about being strong, and definitely reinforced there with the King of Wands. The next one to clarify Temperance is the Nine of Cups. So wow, this is really beautiful. So the Temperance is saying to balance the things in your life, and then the Nine of Cups is saying that, to clarify by saying that when you do, you will be sitting pretty, you know, you'll be enjoying yourself at this picnic. Things will get better, and also very lucky because it has the ladybug here, which is a symbol of good luck. And once again, you're celebrating with loved ones. So yeah, you just need to balance and be moderate and things like that. So next one we have is the Nine of Wands, and this is to clarify the Tower. So the Nine of Wands is saying that you have been through a lot, and that you have a lot of hard work. It says that you could be feeling quite alone with this. So obviously he's tying up this scarecrow because, I mean, there's crows everywhere. They're obviously eating his crops and things like that. And he's probably feeling quite annoyed and maybe a bit defeated. Well, he's not, because he's working on, he's doing something, you know, productive to overcome that challenge in his life. However, he is alone in this image. So there could be feelings of that. So don't give up. You might just need to figure out, like this guy, you know, with the scarecrow, there might be something that you can do to remediate the destructive energies from the Tower. The next card we have for the Two of Hedgehogs is the High Priestess. So this is very much about intuition and knowing things on a often on a gut level, on an intuitive level. And so this is about the balancing and spending time on things that are most important to you. So you really need to kind of sit with that and think about it, but also just, you know, muse on that to figure out, you know, because it might not be that obvious initially what is most important. Okay, so this is to clarify the 5 of Teacups, the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a really positive card, Scorpio. So wow. So this is definitely saying this is real success, especially with this 9 here, and on a material level, on a you know, it's talking about an estate basically. I mean, they have wine, they have fine clothes. It looks like they're in like a wine cellar or something. So it could be on a business level. There is 2 of them. So it's some kind of mutual relationship, could be business. The next one we got, wow, my goodness, this is for the 6 of Spears, which is the equivalent of the 6 of Swords, saying that you were going on to better times. Absolutely clarified with the 10 of Cups. So this is the real fulfillment. I mean, it's family, it's happiness, it's security, it's, you know, love, it's all these things that we want. So is the 10 of Pentacles, but this is on an emotional level. So you are getting both here, reinforcing each other. Okay, the last one we have to clarify, the King of Spears, is the 7 of Cups. This is a really beautiful card. I mean, it's very childlike and it's very wistful and kind of imaginative and things, but that's kind of the theme. So it's with the King of Spears, him being this no nonsense, and in a lot of ways the King of Spears is like an ideas person, and then the 7 of Cups is very much like ideas as well, but on an emotional level. So it's, you can get a bit lost a little bit. That's the advice, to be careful about getting lost in these fantastical ideas and things like that. However, there's a lot there, and there can be some real gems that you could find. The next cards I'm going to use are oracle cards. So this is the Outlander Oracle. So the first card we got is Warrior. Wow, that's a really strong card. The next one we got is Creation. So it looks like you're going to be creating something this month. Next one we got is Sacrifice. Interesting with the Tower, because at the end of the day, when things do get destroyed, there is like a bit of a destined, fated energy with that. And the sacrifice, you know, sometimes some things have to leave before some things can move in their place, kind of thing. Like one door closes, another opens. Okay, the last one we got, wow, Satisfaction. That is really a nice one, especially touching the 10 of Cups. I would say the 10 of Pentacles, but it's not actually touching that. However, it is touching this High Priestess and the 7 of Cups. So there's some serious satisfaction in these times. I'll read quickly from the book. They're a bit different to the normal tarot cards. Okay, Warrior is the only character we got here, but interesting that it is with these tricky cards. So there is, yeah. So it says Warrior can represent sacrifice, support, and protection. So that's interesting. Yeah, wow. The Creation card is touching this King of Wands too. So this could be a figure. Maybe it could be your partner or yourself. Yeah, so Creation represents promise, beginnings, and inspiration. The Sacrifice card here on this corner is, which is touching 2 of these 10 really positive cards, actually says Martyr, Offering, and Dedication. So yeah, it's interesting. The image, it says, the wounded soldier is a man of great courage who now is left to remember past glory. So there's a bit of a dreaminess there with that as well. And the last card, Satisfaction, says fulfillment, well-being, and achievement. So that's really nice energies there. The next cards I'm going to be pulling from are the Mermaid and Dolphin Oracle. So at the moment I'm using a lot of like more dreamy cards, and also like the mermaids and stuff, because of the current transit of the sun still in Pisces in the true sky, which is what I follow in here, the true sky astrology. So accept heaven's help is the first one we got. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. Middle card we have is synchronicity. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. And then the last one we got is simplify your life. Eliminate clutter from your home and work life to balance the flow of activities. That's good advice. I'm not sure how you are with that, Scorpio, but often I find Scorpios can be quite good with things like that, like ruthlessness and cutting things out and things. Okay, so the next oracle I've got is the numerology. The first card we got is Follow Your Dreams, number 85. Not sure if 85 is significant to you. Oh, wow. And 87, synchronicity. Wow. So we've got synchronicity twice here. So I'm actually going to read from the book. I feel like I need to. So this card indicates a need to have faith in the universal order of events. Even in the midst of hopelessness and uncertainty, there is no such thing as an accident or a coincidence in the universe. And the perfect people and opportunities will appear miraculously when least expected. Even when you can't logically comprehend how your dreams could possibly come true, you must trust in the magical power of synchronicity to deliver what you need. Remember, it isn't your job to know how things will unfold. It is simply your job to believe and know that all is well. The hows, whens, and whos lie in the hands of the divine, but once you surrender the outcome, you are shown the next logical step. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. Cycles that are encouraging you to trust in the power of synchronicity. By living in consistent alignment with Source through positive thoughts, emotions, and prayer, you will automatically attract miraculous synchronicities into your life. Okay, so the last card I'm going to pull from today is actually the Maidens of the Wheel Oracle. And I have for you a very interesting card. It is 18, East Wind, Dakini. So I'm going to read from the book with this one. They're really beautiful cards, these cards, but they do take from all over the world. So I'm not sure if you have any of this ancestry, but this is a Hindu, Buddhist, tantric deity, or just interest in that culture. A Dakini is a tantric deity in Hinduism and Buddhism who can be described as the female embodiment of enlightened energy. Dakinis represent the movement of energy in space and are known as sky dancers. These dances are an ancient notion that hints at the practice of the Maidens of the Wheel. We can think of them as an energetic thought form that comes to us on the wind. Guides to our spiritual growth, helping us awaken and raise our consciousness. The east is the direction of emergence, new beginnings, and things coming into form. As the sun rises in the east, it has been equated with many deities, including the god of Abrahamic religions. In the book of Exodus in the Bible, the east wind brings a plague of locusts to Egypt as a punishment and parts the Red Sea, allowing Moses and the Israelites to cross safely. Dakinis are associated with the east direction of the maidens of the wheel, but are often thought of as destructive and even demonic. They are akin to the Hindu Kali, a force that breaks down our attachments to the material world and is seen as the death of ego. Both Kali and Dakinis are powerful energies to work with. You have to be far along on the spiritual path to even entertain working with a Dakini. The destructive tendencies associated with them are what occur when you are not ready, but enlightenment is thrown on you anyway. Such as with people who survive horrible circumstances but arrive on the other side with no more attachment to their ego. However, the wisdom of the Dakini does not always have to be learned through suffering. When we work with them consciously, they become a muse and guide on our spiritual paths. They bring us new information we can easily integrate and grant us ways to emerge painlessly from the shell of our ego prisons. This card is letting you know you have been working hard on your inner self. Your growth is apparent, and you need to honor your strength and dedication to walking this path. The east wind is blowing in at this moment, and how you interpret it is up to you. You can decide if it is a wrathful, destructive wind, which is maybe what is needed right now, or a gentle, guiding wind. Either way, it is bringing new thought forms that can be instantly downloaded by you if you allow it. It is new, important information you are ready for. You just need to decide if you will accept it or not. As always, the choice is yours. Just know, the east wind has the power to part the turbulent sea and guide you safely to the other shore. Wow, that really resonates to me with this. The synchronicity was really strong here, but also with that central card of the tower, those tower energies, which is interesting because thinking about the astrology at the moment and the true sky for Scorpio. So there's not really, like, the moon just left Scorpio here, but there's not really any significant planets in your sign at the moment. However, in the true sky, Uranus is in Taurus in the early-ish degrees, and it's your opposing sign. So Uranus could be opposing any Scorpio placements you have, especially if they're near the early degrees of Scorpio, which is very tower energy. And even with this east wind Dakini energy, that to me was quite significant there. However, there's so much Pisces energy at the moment as well. So I think this synchronicity and the other spiritual elements here is probably from that. So this new moon coming in is actually going to be in true sky. It will be in Pisces, and all of these planets that they're saying are going to be in Aries, it's still all in Pisces. Okay, Venus is in Aries, and soon after the new moon, some days later, the sun will move into Aries. So yeah, we are going into Aries season, we are. However, it's still Pisces energy at the moment. So Pisces is a trining sign to Scorpio. So that energy could be heavily aspecting your chakras. There's so many different things in Pisces at the moment, depending on where your placements are. And depending on your chart and the houses that they fall in and everything. However, your ruler Pluto as well is in Capricorn in true sky. So it refers back to that Saturn in Pisces in true sky. So once again, that Pisces energy is so strong. I hope you have a great month ahead, and I'll be back again soon with another reading. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. Bye.